Usually, the Pope produces smiles or a bubble of intimacy, but in his speech to Congress, he brought a couple of members to tears. Deploy that hanky, Mr. Speaker.
In the land of the free, at the home of the brave.
After more than a decade of guiding the Catholic Church, Pope Francis has made a sudden decision. He is ready to say goodbye to the Vatican. Not only that, but insiders confirm that he has also chosen the future leader of the Church. This shocking announcement has left many wondering what the next chapter holds for the Vatican and the millions of Catholics around the world. So what exactly did he say in this emotional moment? And how will this decision shape the future of the Catholic Church? The last sermon. The Pope's decision, while unexpected, comes after more than a decade of leadership marked by his commitment to reform and his emphasis on mercy and compassion. Those close to the Pope indicated that he feels his mission has been fulfilled and that the time has come for new leadership to guide the Church forward. In private meetings with his closest advisors, Pope Francis has reportedly expressed a deep sense of peace about his decision. He is said to have spoken about the challenges he has faced during his papacy, from addressing long-standing issues within the Church to handling global crises. Despite these difficulties, he maintains that his faith in the Church's ability to evolve and meet the needs of its followers remains unshaken. One of the most surprising aspects of this development is the suggestion that Pope Francis has already identified his preferred successor. While the selection of a new pope typically occurs through a conclave of cardinals, it is not unusual for a departing pontiff to influence the choice of his successor. The identity of this potential future leader has not been revealed yet, but insiders hint at someone who shares Francis's vision for a more inclusive and socially conscious church. What's even more surprising here is the timing of this decision. With the ongoing Jubilee of Hope, which Francis inaugurated on Christmas Eve 2024, the Church is in a period of renewal and reflection. This Jubilee is focused on bringing hope to a world facing numerous challenges, and it may now serve as a fitting capstone to Francis's papacy. Those close to the Pope describe a man at peace with his legacy. They speak of his satisfaction in having open dialogues on previously taboo subjects within the Church, his efforts to address climate change, and his work to reform the Vatican's financial practices. At the same time, they note his awareness of the unfinished work that lies ahead for the Church. The process of transitioning papal leadership is complex and has to follow so many traditional steps. While the exact timeline remains unclear, it is believed that Pope Francis intends to follow in the footsteps of his predecessor, Pope Benedict XVI, by abdicating rather than serving until death. If this decision is confirmed, it would mark only the second papal resignation in modern history. Slowly, the news of this potential change has begun to spread within Vatican City. There is a palpable sense of anticipation and uncertainty. Many wonder how this transition will affect the Church's direction on key issues such as the role of women, the approach to LGBTQ Catholics, and the ongoing efforts to address clerical abuse. The impact of Pope Francis's papacy extends far beyond the Catholic Church. His emphasis on social justice, environmental stewardship, and interfaith dialogue has made him a significant figure on the world stage. His departure would undoubtedly be felt across global political and social spheres. As the world awaits official confirmation of these developments, the Vatican remains a hub of quiet activity. Preparations are reportedly underway for what would be a historic announcement. The exact nature of Pope Francis's farewell and the manner in which he will communicate his decision to the world's 1.3 billion Catholics remains subjects of speculation. This potential farewell comes at a time when the Catholic Church continues to face significant challenges and opportunities. The next leader will inherit a church that has been both praised for its efforts at reform and criticized for the pace of change. They will need to navigate the delicate balance between tradition and progress that has defined Francis's papacy. While the Pope has not publicly named his successor, sources within the Vatican suggest that there are a few key figures who are seen as most likely to follow in his footsteps. These individuals are not only highly respected within the Church, but also embody many of the values Pope Francis has championed throughout his papacy. So, who could it be? Who does the Pope think is the best suited to lead the Holy See? The next Pope. In the corridors of the Vatican and among Catholic communities worldwide, speculation is at its peak. 3 names have risen to the forefront of discussions, each representing a different vision for the Church's future. The first is Cardinal Pietro Parolin. He is the current Vatican Secretary of State and stands as a figure of continuity and diplomatic finesse. At 69, Parolin has been Pope Francis's right-hand man who handles the complex waters of international relations with skill and tact. His potential papacy promises a steady hand at the helm, likely continuing many of Francis's initiatives, but with a more cautious approach. Parolin's strength lies in his ability to find common ground between different factions within the Church. This talent could prove crucial in maintaining unity while still pushing forward with necessary reforms. His experience in global diplomacy could also be invaluable as the Church faces challenges on the world stage. However, Parolin's close association with the current papacy is both a blessing and a curse. While it ensures a smooth transition, it may disappoint those hoping for more significant changes. Some critics argue that the Church needs a bolder vision to address its current challenges. Shifting our gaze eastward, we find Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle from the Philippines. At 67, Tagle represents the growing influence of the Church in Asia and the developing world. Known for his charisma and pastoral approach, he's often referred to as the Asian Francis, due to his emphasis on social justice and compassionate leadership. A Tagle papacy would be historic, marking the first Asian pope in modern times. This geographical shift could reflect the changing demographics of the Catholic faith, with its center of gravity moving away from Europe and towards the global South. Tagle's warm personality and ability to connect with younger Catholics could help address the Church's challenges with declining membership in some parts of the world. His focus on issues like poverty alleviation and environmental protection resonates with many, especially in developing nations. However, Tagle's progressive leanings worry some conservatives within the Church. They fear his papacy might lead to too radical a departure from traditional Catholic teachings. This tension between tradition and change is a recurring theme in discussions about the Church's future. Our third contender is Cardinal Jean-Claude Hollerich of Luxembourg. He represents a progressive voice within the European Church hierarchy. At 65, Hollerich has been at the forefront of recent efforts to reform and modernize the Church. As a key advisor to Pope Francis and a leader in the ongoing Synod on Synodality, he has shown a commitment to addressing contemporary issues head-on. A Hollerich papacy could see an acceleration of the reform agenda started under Francis. He has been outspoken about the need for the Church to reconsider its approach to issues such as same-sex relationships and the role of women in Church leadership. His election would likely be welcomed by those calling for a more inclusive and decentralized Church structure. Under Hollerich's leadership, we might see further efforts to increase lay participation in Church decision-making and a more open dialogue on controversial topics. This could lead to significant changes in how the Church engages with contemporary social issues and potentially attract those who have felt alienated by traditional Catholic stances. However, Hollerich's progressive views have also made him a controversial figure among more conservative elements within the Church. His election could potentially deepen divisions and lead to resistance from those who fear a departure from traditional Catholic doctrine. As we consider these three candidates, it is clear that the choice of the next pope will have far-reaching implications. The decision made in the Sistine Chapel will reverberate far beyond the walls of Vatican City, influencing not just the world's 1.3 billion Catholics, but also shaping the Church's role in global affairs. The new pontiff will inherit a Church facing numerous challenges, from declining membership in traditional strongholds to the ongoing aftermath of abuse scandals. The next pope will need to deal with a complex landscape. They will also need to address pressing global issues such as climate change, economic inequality, and geopolitical conflicts. Moreover, the chosen candidate will need to strike a delicate balance between preserving Catholic traditions and adapting to a rapidly changing world. This balance will be crucial in determining the Church's relevance and influence in the 21st century. As the conclave approaches, these considerations will weigh heavily on the minds of the cardinal electors. Regardless of who is chosen, the next papacy will be pivotal in shaping the future of Catholicism. It will determine whether the Church continues on a path of reform and engagement with contemporary issues or returns to a more traditional approach. The decision made secretly will resonate far beyond the realm of religion. This will influence global politics, social policies, and humanitarian efforts. The next pope, whoever he may be, will carry the weight of this responsibility and the hopes of countless faithful as he steps onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica to greet the world as the new leader of the Catholic Church. However, the next pope will not only face the weight of this monumental responsibility, but will also inherit the legacy of Pope Francis, who is one of the most transformative and recognized pontiffs in recent history. His papacy has set high standards in many areas, and the new pope will have to continue this work. What exactly is this legacy that he will have to follow? The legacy left behind. Pope Francis has left an indelible mark on the Catholic Church during his decade-long papacy. As the first pope from the Americas in the Southern Hemisphere, he brought a fresh perspective to the Vatican and reshaped the Church's priorities and approach to global issues. Francis's legacy is characterized by his emphasis on mercy, inclusion, and social justice. From the moment he stepped onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica in 2013, he set a new tone for the papacy. Donning the elaborate papal attire, he greeted the crowd with a simple "Buonasera" and asked for their prayers before blessing them. This humble approach became the beginning of his leadership style. One of Francis's most significant contributions has been his focus on environmental stewardship. His 2015 encyclical Laudato Si addressed the climate crisis and called for urgent action to protect our common home. This document not only resonated within the Church, but also influenced global discussions on environmental policy. The Pope's commitment to the poor and marginalized has been unwavering. He described the Church as a field hospital for the wounded, not a country club for the rich and beautiful. This vision has translated into concrete actions, such as his efforts to alleviate problems in the slums of Buenos Aires during his time as Archbishop. Francis has also been a champion of dialogue and inclusivity. He has worked tirelessly to promote unity between Catholics, non-Catholics, and non-Christians. His outreach to the LGBTQ community, while maintaining church doctrine, has been seen as a significant shift in tone. He famously said, "Who am I to judge?" when asked about gay priests, signaling a more compassionate approach. These are some of the reasons he is loved around the world. Not only this, the Pope's reform agenda has touched many aspects of church life. He has attacked clericalism, empowered the laity, and opened the church to conversation and debate. One of the many best things he did is his emphasis on synodality. It is a process of listening and dialogue, which he emphasized in the Synod on Synodality. This was later described as the most important event in the Catholic Church since the Second Vatican Council. Francis has also taken steps to address the Church's painful history of sexual abuse. He has made historic apologies to survivors and implemented reforms to improve accountability. While some critics argue these measures don't go far enough, they represent a significant shift in the Church's approach to this issue. Then if we talk about international diplomacy, Francis has been a strong voice for peace and reconciliation. He played a crucial role in restoring diplomatic relations between the United States and Cuba, and has been an advocate for refugees during the European and Central American migrant crisis. The Pope's legacy extends to his appointments as well. He has diversified the College of Cardinals, ensuring that it better reflects the global nature of the Church. This move not only broadens representation, but also increases the likelihood that his successor will continue his vision for the Church. However, Francis's papacy has not been without controversy. His efforts to reform have met resistance from more conservative elements within the Church. His restrictions on the traditional Latin Mass, for example, have been a point of contention. Yet even in the face of criticism, Francis has remained committed to his vision of a more inclusive and outward-looking Church. As we look to the future, it is clear that the next pope will have big shoes to fill. Francis has set a new standard for papal leadership, one that combines humility with bold action, compassion with reform, and tradition with openness to change. His successor will need to maintain the delicate balance between maintaining these new directions and addressing the concerns of those who feel the Church has moved too far from its traditional moorings. The legacy of Pope Francis is one of transformation. He has challenged the Church to be more responsive to the needs of the modern world while remaining true to its core mission. His emphasis on mercy, social justice, and environmental stewardship has redefined what it means to be Catholic in the 21st century. As reports suggest that Francis may be involved in choosing his successor, it is clear that he wants to make sure his vision for the Church continues beyond his papacy. This unprecedented move, if true, shows us the importance he places on the direction he has set for the Church. The next pope will inherit a church that has been profoundly shaped by Francis's leadership. They will face the challenge of building on his legacy while addressing the divisions that have emerged during his tenure. It will be a difficult task, but one that is crucial for the future of the Catholic Church in an increasingly complex and rapidly changing world. As we reflect on the legacy left by Pope Francis, there must be one question in everyone's minds. How will the world and the Catholic community respond to the changes that lie ahead with a new pontiff? The expected changes. As news of Pope Francis's impending departure is spreading, a wave of emotions is sweeping through the global Catholic community and beyond. For many, this announcement comes as a shock and has stirred a mix of sadness, gratitude, and uncertainty about the future. Millions of Catholics worldwide are struggling to accept the fact that the Church will be without Francis at its helm. His warmth, humility, and progressive stance on many issues have endeared him to believers and non-believers alike. Many fear that his departure might signal a retreat from the reforms and openness that have characterized his papacy. In the streets of Rome, Buenos Aires, and countless cities around the world, people are gathering in impromptu vigils, sharing stories of how Francis's leadership touched their lives. The most heartwarming thing to see right now is how the younger generation of Catholics are responding to this news. They have only known Francis as their pope. Many credit him with making the Church more relevant to their lives and struggles, so there is a palpable anxiety about whether his successor will continue to bridge the gap between ancient traditions and modern realities. Non-Catholics, too, are feeling the impact of this news. Francis's efforts in interfaith dialogue and his strong stance on issues like climate change and social justice have earned him respect far beyond the boundaries of the Catholic Church. World leaders are already expressing their appreciation for his global leadership and concern about the void his departure will leave. However, not all reactions are of sorrow or concern. Some conservative Catholics, who have long criticized Francis for being too liberal, see this as an opportunity for the Church to return to a more traditional path. This division highlights the challenging task ahead for the next pope in uniting a fractured Church. As the world prepares for this monumental transition, there is a growing realization of just how much Pope Francis has changed the face of Catholicism and its role in the world. His shoes will indeed be hard to fill, and yet amidst all this, one cannot help but feel a sense of frustration. Why now? Just when the Church seemed to be making real progress, embracing the challenges of the modern world, we are faced with uncertainty once again. The next pope better understand the gravity of this moment in history, or the Church might just lose an entire generation of believers.